EACES.
Hola.
Vítejte. SYNAPSES Academy.
Welcome to the SYNAPSES Academy podcast, a podcast in which experts from various fields provide their tips on sustainability citizenship in education. In the previous episode, we spoke about the whole school approach. For a school to implement this successfully, you need a strong community. But how do you go from a group of people to a community? And how do you reach beyond the school parameters? Say community building and you say Rosa Doran. Rosa is a physicist by training and president of Núcleo, a teacher training center in Portugal. With her expertise in the engagement and empowerment of educators, she is the right person to ask. So let's dive in. Rosa, welcome.
Pleasure to be here.
So today we're going to be talking about community building. This is why you're here. This is your strong suit. Can we start at the beginning? When we say community building, what does that mean for you?
To me, community building is transforming a wish come true. I think that when people work together towards the same goal, we can go there farther and stronger. And I also think that educators sometimes, especially the most inspiring educators, they work isolated. And having this network, this net, where they find a place where support is given, where they don't feel alone, is a very important thing. So community, having people finding other like-minded people.
Yeah, because you've now already answered the next question. Why is it important? So I think that's super clear. So, but what does it mean? What is community building?
Well, to me, community, I learned that by doing that accidentally. So I think that when we are in, for instance, in summer schools where we have teachers from different countries meeting each other and discovering that they have the same problems and the same goals, and sometimes they complement each other in their competencies, they can start collaborating. And in no time, and I saw it happening many times, you will have several teachers from different countries or from different schools or from different subject domains or from different grade levels collaborating to educate the students. And all of a sudden, the learning of students acquire a different meaning. So learners will be exposed to sometimes international projects, sometimes to innovative ideas, sometimes to real research in classroom. And it all appears because you have educators empowering other educators under the same community and under the same goal. So when we build a community, you have to provide enough channels where they can find each other constantly. So it means creating a WhatsApp group or creating another social media group where they can find each other, or creating a common space where they can share materials, or providing, for instance, we do in other projects where we have this Tea with Beats, which is an online meeting where teachers can come once a month and discuss whatever they want, ask questions, share good stories. Or it's sometimes it's just having a shared email where everybody can, post, I have to teach this, can somebody help me? Or I've done this, I use this software, it doesn't work, does anyone had this problem before? It's a community of people that find each other in the same space, no matter what this space is.
And then, not to play the advocate of the devil, but I will. Why, if they're in a groups chat, why would they support each other? If they don't know each other, if they're just in the same mailing list, why would they support each other?
Well, that's the thing. Community building means making a mailing list much more than that.
Right.
So if I have, a mailing list, it's pure gold, it's diamond. If you have an email of a teacher, that's more valuable than a diamond, because you can communicate. And then you have the opportunity to say, hey, are you interested in artificial intelligence, for instance? And you don't know where to start or what to do, join us. And then somehow in a moment you find 10 teachers that are, I want to know more. And you open a Zoom online meeting and they will be there and they will say, yesterday I had to do this. And the other teacher will say, that happened to me as well. How will you solve this? And, all of a sudden you're creating a community. You don't have to know that. I find communities of teachers that I'm very guilty for, and I didn't know that that they are now traveling to each other countries. They are job shadowing. They are sending students, or they are just simply collaborating online because they met in one of the events that we created. And we also organize several conferences from teachers to teachers, where they can come and share what they have done, and they find other teachers there that can ask questions. So it's not an easy thing, but you have to create the space for it to thrive, for it to emerge, for it to appear, and then the community will thrive by itself.
Would it maybe be interesting to zoom in, because we say think big, make it small, but so how can we make this small? If we look at a school level, where do you start? How do you build a community at a school level?
Well, I started with a team called Global Hands-on Universe, where they had this model of teacher ambassadors. So the way we did it, and actually in the International Year of Astronomy, we did that in 120 countries. And the idea was the following. You find one teacher that it's in a professional development course or in a conference. And that teacher comes to you and say, I would like to participate in your session. And you are there with that teacher, and the teacher learns new things. And that teacher will go back home, and then they want to infect their colleagues with this new knowledge. And there is where we come in, because if it is in our countries, what we do is we go to that school and support that ambassador, to engage others, to empower others. And then at no time, the teacher that you have trained will provide the same opportunity to their colleagues, and you are there to support 1, 2, 3 times, as many as necessary. And then there will be a small community starting, and when you blink, you don't have to go there anymore because they feel empowered, so that you can focus on another community. And we've been doing this with what we call ambassadors, which are the people that we manage to reach. And then through those people, we support them either face-to-face or online, so that they can empower their colleagues. Sometimes they don't have this natural skill of empowering others. That's why we're there to help. But once they find their group of teachers, there will always be the creative one, the one that is has the power of communication. And whenever they create their groups, they will not disappear. They will continue doing that. So our job is to empower the ambassadors, is to find the ambassadors, even if they don't know that they can be ambassadors, and then support them.
Can you maybe just give us one good example, a place where it started small and it's now grown out to be a big thing?
I can give several. One of them was in Morocco, for instance, which I have several in Europe, but this one is like, we went there for a conference, and there were a few teachers there with one ambassador, and this ambassador had been trained by us, or had participated in professional development with us, and then went back to the country. We went there, and we provided professional development there to a group, I think it was 20 or 30 educators. And then they started running their training courses, and for 10 years, they keep doing that. They grow and grow and grow and grow. The same will happen in Colombia, for instance. And in Portugal, I find ambassadors that I didn't even know existed. They are training other colleagues without my knowledge. And actually, the funniest thing was me, I don't remember the country, going to a country and finding some of the tools that we created being used by some teachers. And when I asked, where did you find this? And they say, oh, this is from a program, the Galileo Teacher Training Program. A colleague of us was trained. I can introduce him to you without knowing that this was created by our team. This to me is the best thing that can ever happen.
That's fantastic, yeah. And if we say we keep it small first, so you want to have a community first, maybe within your school. Of course, we want everyone to join our community, and I think it's great to have this international community, but it's nice to be supported within your school as well. So if there's one piece of advice that you can give to the listeners that they can implement as teachers or school heads in their school with limited time and resources, what would that be?
Well, I start from first. Participate in professional development. European School Innovation Academy, EACEA, is providing many opportunities, webinar, face-to-face training, etc. Second, become a member of Synapses and, subscribe so that you will know where we are and when we are where, so that you can find us and we can connect you to colleagues in your country maybe. So if your country is already represented in the project, we certainly have ambassadors for you. We are together providing professional development to them. If your country doesn't have, we will certainly find someone that is an ambassador already and that can support you in your country. So you can get started. Don't try to rediscover or reinvent the wheel. Talk to us and we will make the path shorter. If you want to participate in something and you don't know how, let us know. Just talk to us.
All right. Don't seek it within your school. Just come talk to us directly. All right. Thank you, Rosa. I've got one last question for you, which is not directly related to community building, but about sustainable practices. So would you be willing to share one piece of, let's say climate advice that listeners can learn from and implement in their private life? Maybe you are already doing this.
I try to do many things, like recycling is obvious, reducing consumption. But I think the most important thing, or for instance, I can say that I started this in my local supermarket by taking my own bags. I don't use plastic bags. And I wanted to buy fruits and I wanted to bring them without a bag. And they would find a bag and I would just take the bag out and give it back to them. So
Great.
I was a troublemaker there. I think that the best thing is to listen to the students, to your colleagues and to everyone. What are they doing to improve their footprint?
Yeah.
There's so much that you can learn. Share ideas. It's a wonderful thing to share, so that people know. Another thing that I do, I carry with me a mug for coffee and for tea that reduces the amount of plastic that we use.
Great. Well, let's start there. Thank you,
What
Rosa.
about you, Myrthe? What do you do?
Me? Well, it's funny. I do this as well. So for me, I always have a water bottle with me. I always have a coffee mug with me because I also like coffee, but I don't like all the paper cups or plastic cups. I always carry a tote bag with me for groceries. I started eating vegetarian about 15 years ago, I think. I try to reduce my flights working internationally. It's sometimes difficult, but my holidays for the last few years have not been by flights, so by train, for example, or going close by car with my partner, so then it's already reduced. I try everywhere I
well
can,
done.
but it's difficult. If you look around in the supermarkets, everything is wrapped in plastic.
Well, I know that, I don't know the country where this happened. I don't know if it was in England or where, that people started leaving all the unnecessary packing in the cashier. That's very annoying, right?
Great.
So that people think about that. That's a good practice as well.
Yeah, that's a great practice. Yeah. Very inspiring. Thank you, Rosa.
Thank you, Myrthe.
Is there anything else you would like to say?
That's not my saying, but it's from Gandhi. Be the change you want to see.
Yes, very famous, but stays true.
All the time.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
You were listening to an episode of the SYNAPSES Academy podcast. For more information about Synapses or to learn more about our speakers, please look up the links in the show notes. This production was funded by the European Union and produced by the European Schoolheads Association. Views and opinions expressed are, however, those of the consortium only and do not necessarily reflect those of the European Union. Neither the European Union nor the granting authority can be held responsible for them.